certified most accurate. Now, your first Warn 5 forecast with Mid-Michigan's only live radar. Here's Chief Meteorologist Bryan Bachman.
All right, a very good Thursday evening to you, everyone. Getting quite a bit more spring today than I think we bargained for here in mid-Michigan. And of course, certainly not the least of which was the tornado. At least one reported tornado anyway that was spawned in parts of Shiawassee and Genesee counties. Those storms now long gone. We are going to remain with some breezy conditions tonight and tomorrow, but overall a more tranquil weather pattern will be taking us into the foreseeable future. So here's a couple of photos of the tornado, or at least the beginnings of it anyway, from this one from Harry Vidurs out of Corunna. This is right around the time and location where the tornado would have been touching down this evening. You could definitely make out the funnel there in the distance. And if you look closely, it might be a little bit difficult to see from this particular view that I have on the screen here for you, but it does look like a little beginning of a debris cloud there on the ground, on the horizon. But there was no doubt about it that this tornado was on the ground by the time it rolled into Durand and Vernon. This photo from Patricia Rothney snapped right from her living room window looking north or northwestward toward that tornado. As you can see, coming very, very close, dangerously close, in fact, to her house. And of course, as we've heard by the numerous damage reports around mid-Michigan, others, unfortunately, were not quite as lucky. Now, looking at the first Warn 5 pinpoint Doppler radar tonight, like I said, it's all quiet here at this point. Those storms now long gone. They're not even out over Lake Huron at this point. They've moved well out into parts of Ontario, and they've weakened, just leaving us with a smattering of light sprinkles here and there, and more notably, the breezy conditions that will be persisting as we head into tomorrow. So let's take a live look outside this evening. We go to downtown Saginaw, where, you know, there's still that hint of mild quality to the air out there tonight, 45 degrees, but it already feels more like 38 thanks to the winds. Southwest sustained at 17 miles per hour and gusting as high as 28. We're going to hold that course and speed for about the next 24 hours. So the only downside to those winds is, of course, they could further hamper our cleanup and restoration efforts beyond tonight's storms. We look next to Bay City. Evidence of the winds there on our camera, 46 degrees for you there. It looks like a lot of the ice either being overrun by water or just breaking up completely on the Saginaw River tonight. And back to downtown Flint, where you came very close to seeing that tornado come through town. Current temp sitting at 47 degrees, notably quieter, and just getting a chance to start drying out from those earlier heavy rains. But speaking of those heavy rains, still have some issues with flooding as we head into the next couple of days here. A flood warning remaining in effect for Clare, Isabella, and Gratiot counties. This prompted by the earlier heavy rains that have produced numerous flooded roadways throughout all three of those counties. That will be in effect until about 12:45 on Saturday morning, so about another 24 hours roughly, give or take there. Flood watch remaining in effect for the Tri-Cities and everybody north of there into tomorrow, as well as a flood warning also in effect for the Rifle River near Sterling, expected to rise above flood stage into this weekend. Other side of this too, as I mentioned, the winds, they're going to remain very blustery, sustained right now out of the southwest at about 15 to 25 miles per hour. On course for about a 20 to 30 mile per hour range, in addition to the gusts. A 36 mile per hour gust reported in Houghton Lake, gusting to 31 in Caro, 32 in Bad Axe, and at least in the 20 to 30 mile per range for everybody else. That could further create power outages here and there, and of course bring even more trees down, especially in those already damaged areas. And to go along with it all, we have some cooler air returning, but we're still above average by all accounts. 40s beginning to invade from I-75 on west, with a few 50s still hanging on in parts of the thumb. Our low pressure system is now centered over the north end of Lake Michigan. It'll continue on out of the picture overnight, just allowing those blustery conditions and gradually cooler temperatures to take hold. So there's going to be a bit of a transition to the leftover precipitation. Hour-by-hour forecast at midnight and on into tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. shows an isolated spotty shower here and there. It will start as plain rain, continuing here and there in a hit-or-miss fashion through at least lunchtime. But then as we get that colder air to really take hold by tomorrow evening, lake effect snow showers will start to take back over. We're not talking about accumulations, just more of a stark contrast, of course, to the weather we had today, and those will continue on into tomorrow night. So 40s, your overnight low for tonight. Scattered showers continuing along with the windy conditions. 20 to 30 miles per hour sustained by morning and gusting higher. 40 will be the high tomorrow morning. Then we fall into the 30s throughout the day, changing the leftover rain showers to snow showers by evening. It will stay chilly throughout the St. Patty's Day weekend and on into Monday, but by the middle of next week, when spring arrives, David and Meg, it will actually feel the parts.